People are going to upset you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to piss you off. And that's a very normal part of life. It's a normal part of being in relationships with people. It's a normal part of being human. So what do we do so that we don't shut down, lash out, but then also at the same time, stay in alignment with ourselves, where we're not pushing our emotions down, we're still feeling them, and we're standing up for ourselves, we're communicating, but in a way that feels really healthy in our relationships. We're going to dive into that today. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and it's my mission to eradicate loneliness. And here's where loneliness comes in these situations. Someone upsets us. So here's an example. One night we were sitting around the living room, and two of my kids, I felt like kind of ganged up on me. Started to give me some feedback that was really painful to hear about me as a mom. And I could just feel myself shutting down, going internal, going quiet, just not participating anymore. And what's cool about our system is our internal system, it's super smart. It learned what to do, usually when we were younger. It learned the safest thing to do in a situation, right? So it learned that, yelling back was the way to keep you safe and protected, or running away. That's what kept you safe and protected, or shutting down and just playing dead, freezing. That is what kept you safe. But when we have those responses, we create disconnection. If we lash out and then we're in an altercation and we have conflict, then we're creating a disconnection. When we run away or when we shut down, we are also disconnecting. And when we start disconnecting, we actually end up creating loneliness within ourselves. We're disconnecting, so we're going to have some maybe lonely feelings about not being connected to the person, but we're doing it to ourselves. We are taking ourselves out of the situation. We're putting ourselves in a lonely place. So we don't want to be at the mercy of those reactions. But the thing is you learned it, and your internal system is really efficient at it. Like, it's so vast. So you will automatically, just before you know it, you are in that response. You're in that disconnecting response. So the first thing to do is, I think, the most difficult thing. And that is to create a pause between what happened and your natural fear response to it. Create some space so that you don't automatically shut down or automatically lash out, because this is where all the problems are made, where conflict becomes a problem in our relationships, where we create loneliness in our relationships, is because this automatic reaction that then isn't even about the original thing. Now you've created another problem. So how do you shut down that response or delay it enough that you've got some reflecting time? And so this is the hardest thing. If you want to practice only one thing that you hear about in this video today, just do that. Go through life seeing if you can create some space between when something happens, you have a stimulation, and then you have a response to it. Just look for how you can create those pauses. Because in that pause, what you can do is you can ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling right now? And if you don't know how you're feeling, that's okay. You can use a feel wheel to figure that out. I mean, some of us were not given a lot of emotional support when we were little, so we didn't know our feelings to begin with. So this is a super helpful tool for figuring out what you feel, because mad is pretty generic. There are a lot of subtle different parts of mad. Sad is too. When you dive down into the outer reaches of the feel wheel and you can identify way more clearly and specifically what you're feeling, then you've got a better direction that you're pointing in. You can do something with a very specific feeling. Like if you know that I'm not mad, I'm actually humiliated. You're going to take different courses of action, right? If you know that you're not mad, you're actually really grieving or you're devastated, those require two different kinds of communication with the people that you care about, and maybe two different actions to support yourself. So you want to create the pause, identify what your emotion is. What is it? Use a tool if you need one. And then you get to ask yourself, what do I want to do with this feeling? Because what happens when we have that automatic reaction is that, like for me, for example, I was shutting down and I never participated in the conversation again that night. I was really triggered. But when I was reflecting on it later, away from the group, and I figured out how I was feeling, and I was feeling attacked, and I was feeling a little abused, and I was feeling misunderstood. When I started to look at those feelings, I realized it's a lot of times what I will do just to make problems go away, make conflict go away, keep my relationships in like good working order, is I'll just suppress my emotions and be like, oh no, it's okay, I'm fine. Yeah, copy that, heard what you said, thanks. And I don't then go say, you know what, that really hurt my feelings. So when I've suppressed the emotions, they're not going away. They're in my system, and they come out sideways. They come out in my health. They come out when I blow up over something small because my feelings are still hurt about something else. So we want to not suppress our emotions. We also don't want to use them to attack. We want to identify them and feel them, and then ask ourselves the question, what do I want to do with this? What do I want to do with this feeling I'm feeling? Do I need to communicate? Do I need to put in a boundary? Do I need to make a request? Do I just need to sit with this and feel this for a minute? And now we're in control. Now, we're not suppressing our emotions. We are not attacking. We're not at the mercy of our fear response. We are in control of our reaction, and we can choose what to do about it. We totally have this power, but it does take some practice and some important skills. So the first one being, like I said, the most important one is the pause, creating that pause. Before you do, like if I could do that over again, what I would want to do is say, I just need a minute with this, right? I need to walk away for a second. I need to sit quietly for a minute. I went right into my fear response, and it was able to come back later and still process the emotions. But my fear response in that moment wasn't particularly dangerous to other people. I mean, I was freezing. But when we run away, we can create anxiety in someone else. When we attack, we can offend and hurt in that process too. So the fear response isn't really healthy in any form. And so we want to stop before we do that. So if we can create the pause and then start asking ourselves this, you can pick this up in the link, the feel wheel, identify what you're feeling, and then allow it to be present. It's okay. It's giving you information. It's here to help you. It's telling you something. So allow yourself to feel it without suppressing it, and then ask yourself the question, hey, here's what I'm feeling. What do I need to do about this? And think really, what does my highest version of myself want to do with this, right? Because maybe in the moment you want to make a snarky comment or ghost the person or whatever, but what does my highest self want to do with this feeling? What do I need to do next? So a little process, because you want to keep yourself in good emotional health by having your emotions and feeling them and responding to them if necessary, but also you want to stay connected to the people in your lives, because we don't want to put ourselves in positions where we're making ourselves lonely, and we don't want the people we love to feel lonely either. So don't forget to grab your feel wheel if you need it, or just grab it because it's a really great resource to have. Put it on the refrigerator for other people in your house, and I wish you all the best of love. See you next time.